Are you being listened to through your phone by social media? My name is Sidi Alinik, and this is another episode of Fallen Hour Radio. So this has been a subject that I've wanted to cover for quite some time, and I haven't had the push until my experience with this phenomenon. I've actually explained this last night in a podcast about my wife and talking to our friend about a certain movie, and then that movie pops up in a newsfeed. And this is actually my push to jump into the subject and get some feedback with the community on how this has affected them, and do they believe that they are being listened to. And it was quite interesting to hear some of the feedback we've gotten, because a lot of people have accepted this as the new norm, as this is normal to get certain ads shot towards you because you're talking about them in conversation. So we were actually done a little research on this subject, and I actually went back to one of the original videos I researched before about this guy talking about how Facebook is using your microphone to listen in your conversations and shoot you advertisements. And he's saying that you're actually able to turn this feature off, as far as we know anyways. So his actually suggestion was to go into your settings, go under where it says privacy if you have an iPhone, and click on the option that says microphone. And it was kind of interesting to do this on my own cell phone, and some of the some of the platforms that are actually listed that have access to your microphone, things like Instagram, Facebook Messenger, Facebook Pages if you're managing a fan page, Lasso. This platform actually just came out, I think this year. I'm not sure, actually just got introduced to this platform for video making, YouTube and Snapchat. Now, it goes without saying that these platforms need your microphone in order for you to use their features. But is it possible that they're using your microphone to shoot you advertisements based on your conversations? Now, I actually have a little bit more research to share with you guys that gets even a little bit more creepier based on them listening to your environment. Not only your voice, but your environment. Before we get to that, I'm actually going to read a couple of stories that people have shot us with on social media. So we actually we put this out on Facebook and asked people to give us feedback based on their experiences with this phenomenon. So I'm actually just going to go down the list here and read out some of the words that people have commented on our post on Facebook. One person says you agree to have your phone monitored when you agree to the Facebook terms and conditions. They say it to better understand you so they can shoot you ads based on things they're interested in. Now that's interesting, because it's become the new norm. So it's like, all right, I'll give you permission to use my microphone so you can shoot me advertisements. But is that all they're listening to? We don't know. It comes down to our research on the subject and taking steps to better our privacy with using these platforms. One listener says, I was talking one time about the community where I grew up called Charlie Creek. This is actually a creepy story if you guys listen to this. Alright, so I'll go from the top again. I was talking one time about the community where I grew up called Charlie Creek. And when I later went on Facebook, I had a friend suggestion for someone named Charlie Creek. It was quickly withdrawn before I could check into this person, which was even creepier. Now that's kind of strange, because it's not only getting into advertisements, but it's almost like coincidental that you would get a person named Charlie Creek based on a conversation that you had with your mother. Now, is Facebook not only shooting you advertisements based on a conversation, but also shooting you people based on a conversation? Naming somebody and they pop up in friend suggestions. And why was this withdrawn from friend suggestions? We have another listener who says, so my mom and I were talking about a song and we couldn't remember the title, but we're trying to piece the lyrics together. I went to Google, and without typing a full word, the damn song title popped up first. My mom and I were kind of freaked out because it did this. And he says, I always knew there was something like this going on, but dang, to see it in black and white is scary. And it is kind of creepy, because you're not using the application for Google, you're not using the application for Facebook, but it's somehow listening into your conversations, and almost by coincidence, the same topic you're talking about, the song you're talking about, the person you're talking about is popping up in suggested feeds. Is it possible that they're listening to more than just your conversations? Now, this could actually be true, that Facebook, Google, Alexa, all these platforms could be listening to more than just your conversations in order to send you better advertisements. But is that the real reason behind them listening to your conversations, or listening to your environment for that reason? The reason I bring that up is because I did a little research on this subject and found an article about a spokesperson from, or a whistleblower rather, Christopher Wiley from Cambridge Analytica, talking about the subject. If you guys don't know who these guys are, Cambridge Analytica, there's actually a huge scandal that happened in 2017 about a Facebook breach that got Mark Zuckerberg on the stand, talking about how Facebook is safe and how they're able to better the security going forward. It says, this article says, during a meeting with the members of the House of Commons earlier this week, Cambridge Analytica whistleblower Christopher Wiley, a former employee at the UK political firm, explained how companies collect data on users. It's not to say that all audio has to be somebody speaking. Wiley told the members of Parliament there's audio that can be useful in terms of, are you in an office environment? Are you outside? Are you watching TV? What are you doing right now? Now that's a little strange, because it's not only possible that Facebook and all these other platforms are using your microphone to listen to your conversation, but they're also listening to your environment. And they're able to decipher whether you're in an office environment, are you home, and decipher what you're actually doing at that exact moment. Based on the intel they collect on you, they're able to send you advertisements based on the audio. The article also says those ambient sounds, the ambient noises around you, help companies target advertisements based on where you are at the moment. Wiley said he noticed he cannot say he noted he cannot say for certain that Facebook was engaging in this practice, but it is a tactic used by companies generally, and he dodged a direct question about whether Facebook was listening to users through their microphones, saying that was a question for the social media network. Now, if this guy has intel on companies other than Facebook using your microphone to shoot you advertisements based on your ambient environments, the ambient noises around you, based on your conversations, why isn't it possible that Facebook wouldn't be on that bandwagon? Facebook in itself is a huge company. It's not a social media network like people like to think. It's a company. It's a business. And in regards to bettering their business, why wouldn't it be possible that they're using your microphone to shoot you better advertisements? Although Mark Zuckerberg last year was talking about that he wanted to better the experience for Facebook users so that they're not getting so much advertisements. But is it possible that they found the loophole? Basically implementing that if we get a better understanding of the person's environment, get a better understanding of the person's conversation, day-to-day conversations, and shooting them things they care about, would that be a way in to better advertisements on these platforms? Because I don't think Facebook would ever get rid of advertisements on their platforms, because that's exactly how they make their revenue. Based on people joining the network, and then companies able to jump in and shoot those people advertisements. So is this a real phenomenon, and how do we start drawing the line on what is privacy and what is... So if you guys want to get a little bit more insight on this, these experiences, I pulled a couple of audios off some videos I've been watching about people and their own experiences, just like yours, with them talking about a certain subject, talking about a hotel, talking about a movie, talking about food, a product, and then they go to their Facebook newsfeed, their Instagram newsfeed, and they get an advertisement for that exact product. I hope you guys enjoy this. Take a listen.
This week, I'm talking to my wife on my personal cell phone. We're talking about having to book a hotel room this weekend up in New Jersey. We're going there for my daughter's dance competition. That's all we did. Talked about it on this phone. 4 hours later, checking my Facebook feed on this phone, up pops the exact city, exact hotel we're talking about, and deals for that hotel. That's crazy.
My story is just as crazy. Talking to my mom about totally random pink lawn flamingos. And we
Were you talking on the phone or just?
No, just we're walking down the sidewalk, getting some coffee in town, phone in my hand. Hours later, I'm on Facebook, and it's like, here's where you can buy pink flamingo-themed cups, glasses. It was so odd, so freaky.
And we were talking about this yesterday. I'm going to Atlantis later this month, and so I'm showing them on my computer where I'm going to stay, and then later I see all these ads for Atlantis, on my Facebook, everything. It was crazy.
So I wasn't even on my phone or on Facebook. I was over at her computer while we were talking about Atlantis, and I had my phone right here. Several hours later, I open up my phone now on my personal Facebook feed. I have advertisements to take a trip to Atlantis.
Yeah.
A little bit creepy, right? To hear other people's experiences about this topic and how they were talking on their phone or talking away from their phone, and Facebook is able to shoot them advertisements based on their topics. It's just something to look into. Take it seriously, do the research for yourself, decide for yourself whether or not you believe that Facebook, Google, Alexa, and all these other platforms are listening in on your conversation and on the ambient environment around you to shoot your advertisements. Hope it wasn't too creepy for you guys. My name is Cedar Lenik. This is Fallen Hour Radio. You guys can find me on facebook.com/Fallen Hour or at Cedar Lenik on Facebook. Facebook.com/Cedar Lenik. We're actually on YouTube as well at Fallen Hour, or we're actually launching a new YouTube channel based on these subjects, based on all these other creepy subjects that we're going to be diving into in coming weeks. And this will actually be live tonight. You guys can look me up on YouTube at Cedar Lenik. Hope to see you guys there. If you guys have any questions, if you guys have your own stories, please call in right here on Anchor. Message me on Facebook. Comment on Facebook. Comment on our videos on YouTube. And give me a message about your experiences. And I'll promise to get your message on the air. My name is Cedar Lenik. This is Fallen Hour Radio.
Malfunction.